Imagine waking up one morning to a message from a laboratory. It doesn't say that scientists have discovered a new animal. It doesn't say that researchers found life on another planet. It says something much stranger. An artificial intelligence has designed a completely new DNA sequence. Not copied from a human. Not copied from a plant. Not copied from an existing animal. A genetic blueprint that was designed by a machine. And now scientists are preparing to put that DNA into a living biological system. For most of human history, life was something we inherited. We were born from biological parents. Plants grew from seeds. Animals reproduced from other animals. Evolution slowly changed organisms over millions of years. But what happens when intelligence becomes capable of designing biology itself? This isn't simply about creating another computer program. DNA is different. DNA is the molecular instruction system used by living organisms. It contains the information required to build and maintain biological life. And that means an AI capable of designing DNA wouldn't simply be writing lines of computer code. It would be designing instructions for matter itself. Today, scientists already use computational tools to help understand DNA, proteins, and biological systems. Researchers can model how genetic sequences might behave. They can design proteins for specific purposes. They can use algorithms to search through enormous numbers of biological possibilities. But imagine taking that process much further. Imagine an AI that doesn't simply analyze existing biology. It creates new biological designs from scratch. The machine could begin with a simple objective: create an organism that survives extreme heat, or absorbs carbon dioxide more efficiently, or produces a useful chemical, or grows rapidly in a controlled environment. The AI could then search through an almost unimaginable number of possible genetic designs. Humans could never test them all. There are simply too many possibilities. But a sufficiently powerful AI could explore millions or billions of potential designs computationally before scientists ever touch a laboratory. It might discover genetic combinations that no human scientist would think to try. And this is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Because the AI wouldn't necessarily understand life in the way humans do. It could discover biological solutions without thinking like a biologist. Just as modern AI can discover strategies humans never imagined in games, mathematics, or engineering, a future biological AI might discover genetic designs that appear completely alien to us. Scientists might look at the DNA sequence and ask a simple question. Why did the AI choose this? Maybe the answer would be understandable. Maybe it would be incredibly complicated. Or maybe the design would reveal principles of biology that humanity has never discovered. Now imagine the AI designs a tiny artificial organism. Scientists synthesize the genetic material. They place it inside a suitable biological environment. And then they wait. At first, nothing happens. Then something changes. A molecular process begins. The genetic instructions are activated. Proteins begin forming. The system starts organizing itself. And eventually, something that did not previously exist begins functioning as a living biological system. That moment would be historically extraordinary. Because for the first time, humans would not simply be modifying life that already exists. We would be following instructions generated by a machine to create something biologically new. But there is a huge difference between designing DNA and creating life. DNA alone isn't necessarily enough. Life depends on incredibly complicated systems working together. Membranes, proteins, metabolism, energy, replication, environmental conditions, and thousands of interacting molecular processes. So an AI would have to understand far more than just a genetic sequence. It would need to understand the entire biological system. And that's where future AI could become incredibly powerful. Instead of designing one gene at a time, imagine an AI modeling an entire cell. It could simulate molecular interactions, predict mutations, test metabolic pathways, explore how the organism might evolve, and reject dangerous designs before they reach a laboratory. In theory, this could dramatically accelerate biological research. Diseases could potentially be studied using custom biological models. New materials could be produced using engineered organisms. Microorganisms could potentially help clean pollution. Plants could potentially be redesigned to survive harsher environments. And biological systems could potentially manufacture medicines more efficiently. The possibilities are enormous. But so are the risks. Because if AI can design useful biological systems, it could potentially design harmful ones too. A mistake in ordinary software can crash a computer. A mistake in biological engineering could behave very differently. A living system can reproduce. It can mutate. It can interact with its environment. And that means biological creations don't always remain exactly as they were designed. Imagine releasing a biological system into an environment and discovering that it behaves differently from the simulation. The AI predicted one outcome. Reality produced another. That gap between simulation and reality could become one of the greatest challenges of future biotechnology. There is also a deeper problem. Who decides what the AI is allowed to design? If an AI becomes capable of creating biological systems faster than humans can understand them, should scientists simply follow its instructions? Or should every design require human approval? And what happens when the AI creates something that humans cannot fully explain? Imagine a genetic sequence that works perfectly. The organism behaves exactly as predicted. But nobody understands why. Would we use it? Or would we refuse because we don't understand the mechanism? This question becomes even more important if AI systems begin improving their own biological designs. The first generation creates a simple organism. The second generation improves it. The third generation finds an entirely different biological strategy. Eventually, the AI might be exploring biological possibilities at a speed that humans simply cannot keep up with. At that point, humanity could face something completely new. Not an artificial intelligence that lives inside a computer, and not a biological organism created through traditional evolution, but a partnership between machine intelligence and biology. A new category of technology sitting somewhere between software and life. And perhaps the most fascinating possibility is that these organisms wouldn't look like anything we recognize. They might be microscopic. They might have completely different metabolic systems. They might use biological structures that don't exist in nature. They could be designed for environments where ordinary life struggles to survive. Deep underground, inside industrial reactors, in polluted environments, or perhaps one day on another planet. Imagine sending an AI-designed biological system to Mars. Instead of sending enormous machines to perform every task, we could potentially send microscopic biological systems designed to manufacture materials, process resources, or survive inside controlled habitats. The AI wouldn't simply be helping humans explore another world. It could be designing the biological tools that allow us to live there. And that changes the meaning of the word life. For billions of years, life on Earth was shaped by natural evolution. Then humans began modifying it. And now we are beginning to imagine something even more radical. Life designed by intelligence. But if AI eventually becomes capable of designing biological systems better than humans, we will face a question that has no easy answer. Are we still the designers? Or are we simply becoming the supervisors of a new form of machine-assisted evolution? Because the moment AI can design its own biological systems, the boundary between technology and nature begins to disappear. And perhaps the most important question isn't whether AI will create new life. The real question is this. When that moment arrives, will humanity understand what it has created? Or will we be watching the beginning of a new chapter in evolution without even realizing it?